and I discovered rotary engines. I didn't knew nothing about them then.
Yeah.
So from that day on, I went and bought one from the wrecking yard, got a workshop manual, looked at it, and I go, what's this?
So you self-taught yourself about rotary engines?
Self-taught.
Wow.
Yeah. I didn't even know how to say peripheral port at the time. That's how.
Joe said he's a well-known name in the world of sports sedans, having built a successful career in the sport from the ground up. Working exclusively from his home garage, he has built one of the best sports sedans in the country, a rotary-powered, flame-spitting Fiat 124. Entirely self-taught, Sed's story is an inspiration to the motorsport world, and I'm here today in his garage to talk with him about his life in motorsport and the creation of this incredible car. Settled down in Joe's garage here. Joe, thanks for having us. Really appreciate it.
No problem, mate. My pleasure.
Tell us about this little workshop. It's a real man cave in here. It's
yeah,
great.
It's a man cave, all right. Yeah, I've had this for many, many years. Build it up slowly over the years. Little mill, little lathe, welders, cutting tools, whatever tools that you need to build a race car. I got it here.
It seems to show like sports sedans, for the heritage of the class, which you're heavily involved in, is all about build the car in the workshop at home. And this truly shows that your little Fiat has been built in here. Majority of the work has come from within these four walls?
100%.
Yeah.
100%. It's all in-house.
Yeah.
I do all the engineering, designing them from scratch.
Yep.
Tony Long helps me with the fiberglassing and carbon fiber stuff.
Yep.
My nephew Alf helps me with the electronic stuff, and now we've got M-Tron on board, which is a good system. And I've probably got one of the best drivers.
And Brad Shields is a bit of a gun.
Yes.
So now you've got Brad behind the wheel of it. You've developed it to that level. What's made you decide to step out of the driver's seat a little bit more?
Well, I'm getting older, and I can't drive as quick as I used to.
Yeah, okay.
You think you can, but something holds you back. I don't know what it is. Holds you back. And I've known Brad for a long time. I've known him since he was a little kid.
Yeah.
He used to come up. His dad and mum used to bring him up to the racetrack, and he used to, back in 2000 or whatever it was, and I used to sit him in my car. He was only a little fella then. And I've known him since then. He's always sort of admired my driving then. Now I'm admiring his driving. And I've seen him coming up through the karting and driving other cars. And then I told him, I said, one day I'll give you a drive. And I gave him a drive at Eastern Creek, and I said, mate, anytime you want to drive this thing, it's yours. And now I get more pleasure out of that, because I'm the one engineering, building the car to get the results out of it. Because I know he can do more justice with it.
And does Brad give you, and like I know Brad's a high quality driver. We've
Yes.
watched him as well
Yes.
over many years. He has huge amounts of talent. But does he obviously gives you as well the feedback that you need for this car specifically to know what direction you should be heading.
100%. He is so good in feedback. It's not funny. Like it's very good. He'll pinpoint to the spot where he wants to change, and we'll do that. And it's not big changes. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But he'll pinpoint exactly what he wants, and we'll do the change. And most 99.9%, it's in the right direction.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah,
That's
yes.
incredible.
No, so I'm very happy with him. And he looks after the car. He doesn't trash it. He doesn't, mate, I couldn't ask for a better driver. So, and he loves driving it.
And I think as well as a sports sedans community, I know we do as well, that everybody appreciates giving a young Australian driver a shot at showcasing what ability he has, not keeping this thing in the garage because you don't want to drive it too hard or something like that.
Exactly right, yeah. And also too, hopefully it helps him stepping up.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, if people see him like driving that, you know, especially a little car like that, beating a bigger car, you know, there's something there. I know it's a combination of car and driver, but if you haven't got both, you won't succeed. So hopefully that gives him a stepping stone. You know, that's, I always try to help him like in that way. Yeah.
So for you, was it family interest in motorsport, or did you develop the interest yourself? Was it to come from dad or anything like that?
No, my dad didn't even drive.
Wow. Okay.
That's right. I just myself. My brother used to muck around with cars a lot, and he's a lot older than me. And I also used to hang around, you know, they're always tinkering with cars, the old Zephyrs, old custom line days. There's some going back many years ago, right? No Holdens and that. So I always had that interest. And I always wanted to build something from the word go. And I actually, I think when I was 14 or something, I got a VW chassis, and I want to put a V8 in it, you know, but it didn't eventuate. You know, just you know, from there on, And I always liked designing. I always liked drawing up and designing, so just went on from there. At school, I didn't like school, but I always used to get in trouble because I'm always drawing cars in class. I would get a slap across the ear when the teacher came around for drawing cars.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people can relate to that.
Yeah.
Shows where the passion came from.
Yeah. Passion's, I've had it all these years and I've still got it.
So, totally self-taught.
Yes.
Built the car yourself. What was the passion and the driving force to going racing? Like, what got you involved? What got you hooked? Where did it start for you?
Since I was a kid, I used to love watching Bathurst in black and white. Then I started, I think I was about 18. 1972 was my first event.
Yeah, wow.
And I ran at Catalina Park. It was what they call lap dash. And I went there. I didn't even know the circuit. And from that day on, I was hooked. I was just hooked. And just went on from there and on and on.
Yep. What was the first car? What car got you hooked?
My first car was my road car. Was a Fiat 1500. So I went, you know, bashing with that. So, and then after that, I built another 1500 with a twin cam in it. And I raced that maybe a couple of years, but I always had a passion for a 124. So then I was building a 124, and I built a 124 with a Fiat engine, and I ran that for a few years. And then I think it was 1980, I wanted more power. So I was looking around for an alternative to a Fiat engine, and I discovered rotary engines. I knew nothing about them then. So from that day on, I went and bought one from the wrecking yard, got a workshop manual, looked at it, and I go, what's this?
So you self-taught yourself about rotary engines?
Self-taught.
Wow.
Yeah. I didn't even know how to say peripheral port at the time. And that's how funny it was.
Wow.
I didn't know what it was.
Yeah.
And I just slowly learned it. And straight away, I said, wow, this is good. It had a 12A first, then went a 13B, Then later, a lot later on, went to a 20B, and now we're back to a 13B turbo. It's a new experience. Turbocharging is a completely different thing.
So building it all here in this workshop, what's that like? I mean, you were talking as well that on the weekend you tend to have a few people around?
Yeah, we normally have a bit of a get-together on a Saturday. All the boys come around. They love coming here, having a bit of a chat and work on the cars. Most of the time I'm working away and they're chatting away, so it's good. And we love it. We love it,
Now, we were talking a bit off camera as well about, you've got all these machines here that we've spoken about, but what was the process to learn how to use each one individually, and what drove you with that process?
Well, that motor racing drove me to that. When I first started, my trade is a motor mechanic. That's my trade, but I need to know more. You have to learn how to build a car, design a car, and I've always had a passion for that. So I just learned, self-taught. And where I used to work at Borg Warner, and in the research and development. So I learned a lot about engineering. So I just self-taught myself how to use lathes, mills, welding, and I just got that knack for it. And the passion is there, and was there, and it still is now. So I love it.
That's really great. So I guess doing it all in-house must bring a real value to the car when you see it go out on track.
Oh, mate, it's awesome when you go out there and you get good results. Even when you're not getting good results, it's gonna come sooner or later. It just blows your mind when you get a good result, like we did last meeting.
With the rotary motor, you decided to go to it, knew nothing about it. What was the process of learning? Because you said you got the manual. So what were you doing? Was it just every night in the garage at home, just reading about it? And...
Basically every night, like it still is. Just got an engine from the wrecking yard. I pulled the sump off it and I go on, where's the rest of it? Because when you pull the rotary engine, you can't see nothing till you pull everything apart. And just slowly just picked up things. I got the first one, I got the perf reports done because I didn't know what the hell they were. And then when I did get them back, I said, I can do this. So I started doing my own porting, my own everything, all the fabrication stuff.
So you build your own rotary motors here as well?
Yes. Always did and always have been.
That's incredible. That's really, really good. And then you got the Fiat. Which is the hero car that we see now at the front of the workshop. It's a massive following all around the world for that car. How did you get it? What was the process of getting hold of that one?
Like I said before, my passion, I always loved the 124, and I did race an AC. That was my first 124, which basically was a standard car, just lightened out, shifted the engine back with a twin cam engine at the time, and went racing with that. And then I built it up. Then I put rotary in, and I had a couple of them. And back in '85 or '86, I sold that car because it was just getting a bit too much for me at the time. I wanted to go next level, but the money side of it. So I sold it, and that car is still running like today. That one never had a 20B in it. Then after a couple of years of not racing, the bug was still there. So I built a narrow one. And that had a 13B, raced that. Actually was very successful. We won the championship in that one in '99. No, that I put the 20B in it then. In '99, 2000, 2001, won the state championship with that Sports Sedans state one. Yes. That was that car. Then it was getting a little bit on. In the meantime, I was building this one, like a new chassis, completely. This was completely new chassis. So the engine out of that went into this car, which is still the original engine, which I had. Still the same. I've rebuilt it heaps of times, and it's been running with that engine up till now, up till back to a 13B.
So did you roll cage fab and everything for that car in this garage?
Everything. I've got drawing. I drew it all up. I got all the drawings, all proper technical drawings,
Yeah.
drawing them on the drawing board,
Yeah.
and just did everything.
Yeah, wow.
Everything.
So that car is 110%,
100
Joe said.
More than 110%. Yeah,
that's
yeah.
incredible. So what made you decide that you were going to build that from the ground up? So did you see a car, or did you just dream it up yourself? Or?
I dreamt it up most of the time. I dreamt,
Yep.
and actually that chassis was going to be for an RX-7.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the body was. I actually made the molds, made the panels to suit an RX-7, and then I just changed my mind like that. I said I want to stick with a Fiat 124 because it's just different. Because there was a lot of RX-7s around. So I just went basically just you can take the body off that and you can put practically any body you want. So I went back to a Fiat and made it look as you see it now.
And the composite body panels, how did you go about manufacturing those? You said you've...
Yes, so we, Tony and I make up the plugs and molds and then the panels. Tony does all of that. I sort of help him out making up the plugs, the ideas and shaping them. And then he takes them away and he comes back with these products. So then Tony and I have been friends for years and years. And we just, I do that bit and he does that bit.
So do you find for developing that car, you take inspiration from other cars, or do you just sort of think about it and think this would be a better suspension setup, or, gearbox linkages that we need to have?
I tend to follow more the European type of engineering. So I got a lot of race car magazines. And I like the GT type cars and Formula cars. So I basically based it on that, that idea, that type of engineering. So yeah.
What was the trickiest thing to build with it? What gave you the most dramas?
Oh man, there's a lot of things gave me dramas.
Front to the rear.
Look, getting the combination of a compromise, roll centers, camber curves, front row center, rear row centers, weight distribution is very tricky business to get a car to handle, because I always loved a good handling car. I think that's more than power, up to a point. You need both, but if you got a good chassis, you can do a bit less power and you can get the same results. And a car that looks after its tires, because it's got to be consistent. If you're not you can do a quick lap, but if you're consistent, you could be a little bit slower, but at the end of the day, you can win races.
For sure.
That was always my thought. So, but look, there's not what you call one thing that was the hardest. It was all hard.
Yeah,
to get it right.
And so this car has been now nearly a 10-year build?
Yeah, well, it took me about five years to build it from the beginning. And it came out, I think 2008 or 2009, I can't remember exactly which year, but around that time. And slowly we've been always developing it. Basically, the chassis is still the same. Suspension layout is the same. We just change a couple of minor things in the pickup points, more the front, the rears. I don't think I've changed anything in the rear, except spring rates and sway bars. But the chassis has been since it was designed. So it's been a good package, And of course, I've changed engines now,
Works out. So on that topic, can we go through a little bit about what are the componentry that you've got in it? What have you got inside? What's it running suspension wise and brakes and things like that?
Suspension is all my own design. It's got pull rod suspension up front. With increasing race suspension. It's got push rod at the rear. The same sort of setup, like increasing rate. It's got the adjustable, like normal adjustable shock absorbers, like most bump. Nothing fancy. They're conies, bump and rebound. No 4-way or 2 ways or 3 ways ones. The chassis is the main. I start with a good chassis.
Yeah, for sure.
And make sure it. For twist wise, for make it rigid. That's number one. That was my main idea of it, focus on it. Because If you got a chassis that's twisting around, you can do anything with the suspension.
Yeah.
It just goes out the window.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So, and weight distribution.
Yeah.
You know, keeping the weight down as much as possible, and that's the main reason I went with a 13B the turbo instead of 20B because of the weight factor.
Yeah, okay.
Otherwise, it would have been a lot heavier car.
Yeah. Yeah.
So just to keep that package the same. Yeah.
Now, a lot of people know this car, as you said, as a 20B, naturally aspirated little weapon of a package, and we've got plenty of footage of that thing screaming around multiple tracks. So the 13B, you talked about the weight, but there was also elements of geometry that worked better for the 13B with the turbo setup?
Yes, because the engine is slightly further back.
Yeah, okay.
It starts from the gearbox stayed the same, because the engine's shorter, the weight distribution sort of favored it.
Yeah, okay.
Because the weight shifted more towards the back.
Yeah.
So I've got about 52-48 weight distribution, like lighter at the front than what it is. It's heavier at the back actually, and that helped a lot. You know.
Which I imagine is why it gets such good drive.
Oh, good drive, beautiful drive. Yeah, Brad reckons it's unbelievable how much drive he can get out of it, even now with the extra power. Yes.
I think one of the iconic pieces of footage that we have that shows that is, of course, Brad's incredible battle with Simon Copping in what is an ex-supercar, and it shows that this thing, built at home, Simon's running exactly what was run in the supercar championship at that time. It's the same motor, gearbox, diff, all the aspects of it, and this thing's right on its tail all the way around the track, which is a pretty incredible feat, really.
Yeah, no, mate. I mean, it matched them lap to lap, and the only thing he was lacking was the horsepower.
Yeah.
Because once he got past, like, especially around Wakefield, like, yeah, if he gets in front at the start of turn 2, you won't catch him.
All right. With the 13B turbo, you're finding that horsepower though, so it's becoming more of a.
Yeah, now we can match him down the straight.
Yeah.
So, well, the car's proven now it's a lot quicker.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and hopefully there's more to come without.
I was going to say, into 2021, we're just about to start the year now. The season is coming up pretty shortly.
Yes.
What's the goal? I guess state championship?
State championship, yes. With the combo of Brad and the car, I think it's pretty hard to beat. Yeah. If the car is reliable, I think we'll be there.
Yeah. And do you have more fine-tuning you want to do with it? Are there things on the agenda that you've pinpointed as, I want to fix that?
Yeah, definitely. There's a lot more in the engine. Actually, that engine is what I call, it's a bit of a mule engine. I grabbed all my 13B old bits and put that one together. So, and there's, look, in the electronic part of it, which we're still learning, there's a lot more in the tuning. So just to make it more reliable, you know, because you gotta do a good half an hour race, and you want to be up there all the time. You don't want to cook it, you know. So we just hopefully that's the case.
I was going to say reliability is almost the ultimate dream of sports sedans, isn't it? To be able to just get that reliability.
As you know, nearly every sports sedan, somewhere along the line, it stops.
Yeah, for sure.
You know,
100%.
but we've been looking at my history. I got pretty reliable car.
Yeah, it's always there.
You know, you're going to have the odd ones, but it's always there, as you've seen. Yeah.
Speaking of sports sedans, just diverting off a little bit, what made you choose sports sedans as the category you wanted to race in, and why have you been involved for so long? What's kept you there?
Since I was a kid, I always loved that freedom of design. And sports sedan is, to me, besides going to a Formula car or something like that, and keeping it like a sedan-looking car, is the best formula out there. And it's been since the 60s, wherever it is. In the old days, you just put any engine in. And now it's got more sophisticated, which I love it. I love the engineering side of it. So there's that freedom. You know, you haven't got your hands tied. You can't do this or you can't do that. And also for price-wise, you can get an engine of something else or a gearbox something else. It's not regulated. And it's gonna cost you a fortune. You know, for the average guy, he can go and get a good V8 and a 4-speed or 5-speed or whatever, depending on his budget, and you can make something quick out of a lot less money.
Yeah.
But when they get to a higher level,
Yeah.
then they start costing more.
I was going to say,
more.
there's a bit of money in that.
Yeah.
But I think it shows as well, like looking at this workshop in your story, that you can build that at home if you decide you want to dedicate your time and your learning and gathering of knowledge into building something. You can actually create yourself those steps to get to that top level.
Definitely. You can, anyone can do it. Not anyone. I mean, if you've got the passion for it and a bit of knowledge and help from friends, you can cut down a lot of costs. I could never afford to pay anyone to do all this type of engineering. And also, I help guys out, a lot of sports sedan guys. I help out with their stuff, which we're always passing information one to one another, and which is good. It's good. When other categories, they wouldn't be even talking to one another. So
exactly.
I love. That's why I love sports sedans. And each car is different, so they can perform. One can be better in one corner, or under brakes, or in a straight line. So you're gonna get good racing.
It's incredible. It's a great category to be involved with.
Love it. Yeah.
Well, on that, thank you for your time, Joe. Really appreciate it, and for that insight into building a sports sedan at home. It's an incredible journey.
That's okay, mate. It's my pleasure. And I'm glad that you came over. I always like to thank Blendline. They've always been there for us, and it's hopefully for the future it'll be good. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.